Hey, it's Mike, your host of Craft Beer Storm. How are you doing today? It's Friday. You need a beer. But today we are continuing our Craft Brewers Conference nuggets that we got, and we have an at-length interview with Ann Obenchain. She's the marketing director for Brewers Association, and I had the privilege of talking to Ann. These events are really awesome the way they put them together, and I just got some ideas from Ann about what the Brewers Association is doing for the brewing community, and a lot of good stuff coming your way. So here we go. Hey, we're here with Ann Obenchain. She's the marketing director of the Brewers Association. How are you doing, Ann?
I'm good. How are you, Michael?
I'm great. This is a wonderful conference.
Yeah, welcome to Denver.
Yeah, it's awesome. I got connected with you. I said, put me in touch with somebody who's, involved with the organization of this conference. And then I got in touch with you, and you've been very nice to come up and talk to me. That's awesome. But tell me about the event. I mean, how do you get one of these events organized, and how does that work?
Well, it takes a lot of people. So we have 70 people on staff. We have the Craft Brewers Guild that helps us with some of the ancillary events. We have a whole team of volunteers. So it takes a lot. There's a lot of moving parts, but specifically we have a full-time events team that is working on the Craft Brewers Conference multiple years out ahead of the conference.
Wow, so it takes like a couple of years to put something together like this.
Yeah, I mean, what they're doing is, meeting with cities. As you see, we've got 584,000 square feet. We've got almost 15,000 attendees. Yeah. We need lots of hotels. We need lots of space. And, working with cities around the country to find a city that has all of the things that can accommodate us takes quite a bit of time. And, 3 to 5 years out is what we're planning.
So where's it going to be next year? I guess you know.
Next year it's going to be in San Antonio.
San Antonio. All right. Yes, I heard about that. Awesome. Yeah. San Antonio. So they have the facilities. I guess they do.
Yes, they do. And it's also going to be a World Beer Cup year, too. So we'll be adding our international beer competition to the event.
Oh, you are? Oh, awesome. Oh, I must enter. I have a brewery as well.
You certainly can.
I must do that, yes. And in getting speakers here and organizing all that stuff, like you said, it's like a couple-year event. I mean, like, what are the struggles that you go through in order to?
We like to look at everything as an opportunity. So, the speakers and the seminars are all created with the feedback from the attendees. So as they're going to the events, they're rating them on their apps. We go back and compile that information. And then every year we have an open application process for speakers so that they send in their proposed seminar, and then that's vetted. We have multiple, like technical brewing. So let's say you wanted to come in and give a seminar on technical brewing. Our technical committee, we have many board committees, will be reviewing those and then coming back and vetting those for us. So it's really, the seminars are really picked by the attendees.
But there are some heavy-duty people at these seminars. Like I was in there yesterday, and Kim from New Belgium showed up. I'm like, oh man, it's Kim. Like, she's right there. Because there's a lot of heavy-duty people here.
Yeah, well, this is the industry gathering for the craft brewing family. Kim has been on our board. She's been our board chair. She is integral and very involved with the Brewers Association, and I think everyone likes to give back. Everybody was a brewery in planning or a new brewery at one point in their careers, and that's what's so wonderful and special about this is you can run into Kim Jordan in a seminar and go up and chat with her and learn from her as well.
It was funny, like before we met here, we were sampling some beers. It was like USA Hops, and they promote hop farmers around the U.S., and I'm standing next to a guy, and he had a Left Hand Brewing, badge. I'm like, oh, you work at Left Hand Brewing? Oh, yeah, I was the founder. I'm like, oh, man. And he's like, yeah, I'm the chairman of the BA, too. I'm like, what?
Oh, Eric Wallace.
Yes, so I said, look, I need 5 minutes of your time. I want to record you, and I want to talk to you. He says, yeah, sure, no problem. And he was really cool about it. We sat down, and we talked about that, and also the charitable aspect of a lot of the breweries and trying to raise money funds for good causes.
That's right.
So that's a really great thing. I mean, the Brewers Association, are they involved in that, or like I guess it's other.
That's really up to the individual breweries. But with over 7,000 breweries across the country now, they're in almost every legislative district, every community. Many people have more than one brewery they can walk to, and not only are they hiring in the communities, but they're giving back. They're holding events. They're holding fundraisers. I don't know if you were in today's general session, but the Resilience IPA, that's a great example of
excellent.
All these breweries, I think it was over 1,000 breweries now, brewed that beer and gave the proceeds back to the fire victims in Northern California.
It was Ken, right? Ken Grossman,
Grossman.
And he organized that whole thing. I missed the deadline. I don't know where I was. I was in outer space. I didn't do the beer, but I know brewers who did, and I think he was shooting for 500 brewers to help him, and it ended up being over 1,000, like 1,200 or 1,300, which is fantastic. And they donated all the revenue, not like a portion of the revenue.
Correct.
Yeah, so that's fantastic to help, just to step up and help your community, which is what, I think, do you see things trending that way in terms of a micro, like a hyper-local kind of brewery feel? Or
Well, one of our speakers just now, Brandy Brand, she is a trend analysis for the beverage alcohol, and we are seeing as tap room, the growth is happening in tap rooms, the growth is happening at the long tail. I'm sure Bart told you this as well, where it's under 1,000 barrels, and those are local. Those are your neighborhood local breweries and tap rooms. So there is growth there, and there is that opportunity.
Yeah. Now, you got into, you're a marketing director. What's your history? Like, what did you do before the Brewers Association, and how did you get involved in the?
My career has been in marketing, mostly in the outdoor ski and entertainment industries, which has been great. Very similar, especially the outdoor industry is very similar in the creative and small businesses and upstart businesses giving back to their community. And I got into this, I saw the opportunity, and I had worked on a couple activations with some local, some regional breweries in the past, and asked them for an introduction, and here I am.
And there you go, and the rest is history. But it's a really great event. It's just very organized. I remember the GABF. I've been here a couple times. It's just very organized. It's like, wow, But it's a very organized event, and everything kind of goes out smoothly. Maybe there's chaos behind the scenes, but you don't really see. But I don't think there is any chaos. It doesn't seem to be any chaos.
No, it's organized. I mean, we work well ahead. We have great teams, lots of volunteers, lots of professional contractors that help us with this as well. So we always look to improve. So we all meet afterwards to see how we can continue to refine and make it better each year.
Yeah, it's awesome. So what do you think? I mean, a lot of people say there's a bubble in the craft beer industry. I mean, what do you think about that?
I don't think it's a bubble. I don't think Bart would say it's a bubble. It's 4% growth. It's maturing market. There are pockets of growth, in underdeveloped areas of the country. Colorado is going to be a stiffer competition market, but you've got the Southeast, some of those areas, the Midwest. There's still pockets where you're going to see much higher growth, and we're seeing growth at the tap rooms as well.
Right, excellent, yeah. I see its growth too, because if you compare it to like wine industry, there's like 11,000 vineyards, and we're only, I think, about 7,000 breweries. So I think there's kind of room for...
There's absolutely still room to grow. I mean, we had just over 7,300 breweries in operation last year. There's over 1,000 permits at the TTB. We're expecting to probably see that number grow once Bart crunches all the numbers. Bart is our chief economist, for your listeners.
Yeah, I interviewed him before. He knows a lot. I called him like Alan Greenspan, like the Fed chairman. Like everybody would know, like Alan Greenspan's going to talk this afternoon, and everybody's like, oh man, what is he going to say? And then it's the same thing with Bart. It's like, what's Bart going to say about the industry and what's happening? And he's been pretty accurate, in terms of like everybody was nuts about IPAs, and then all of a sudden now he just flashed a slide this morning about people wanting more crisp beers, which are lagers or pilsners, and also dark.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that's awesome, because we make all our beer with Irish barley as the base, and I sell, the number one I sell is stout in the tap room. But if I go out to a bar with a stout, they're like, oh, it's a dark beer, I don't know, But I'm glad that the tide is turning. And what kind of beers do you like? Like what kind of styles and what?
I kind of go with the seasons, right? So yesterday when it was 80 degrees, I had a lovely Sippin' Pretty from Odell, which is a little bit sour but not super sour. Or I had a Dogfish Sea Quench, which was a little more sour and tart and refreshing, so I'm that market. But I like darker beers in general. So like tonight, now that it's snowing and cold,
it's crazy.
I'm going to be looking for, I love New Holland's Dragon's Milk is one of my favorites. Yeah. What else is, there's just so many good, wonderful dark beers. Martzen beers are usually my go-to on any given day. Would be my go-to beer.
Awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of beer, and we try to promote different beer styles as well on the podcast. Mm-hmm. So we do every Wednesday. We just do a different beer style where there's not just lagers, there's not just IPAs, there's stouts, there's wheat beers, there's barrel aged beers. It's just a whole bunch of different styles that are out there. And what would you say to people, like if they wanted to drink craft brew, like they don't want to, I'm trying to get them away from buying a 24-pack and buy like a pallet of water instead, and then take the rest of the money and buy like a 4-pack of 16-ounce local craft beer. What would you say to people like that?
Well, I would say to people like that, when they're investing in craft beer, they're investing in their community, they're investing in the jobs that are in the community, they're investing in flavor experimentation. It's like when you go to a butcher store and do you get that really nice, beautiful piece of meat or a good piece of cheese? It's that flavor profile that is second to none, in my opinion, in taste. Yeah.
And also the local aspect, pairing local food with maybe local beer. We're trying to get people to realize that beer is, it's similar to wine. You might have wine take all the credit and get some really good beer, because beer can be complex and it could go well with food.
I agree, and I also think there's a personality behind every brewery, right? So you're becoming friends with that personality versus that 12-pack that you just talked about. It's like, who's behind that 12-pack? It's like you can get to know and almost become friends with your craft breweries and the brands that are in your local area.
Do you have any? I guess you live in the area. Do you live in Denver, or do you live in?
I live in north of Boulder, so in the Front Range, and here we have almost 400 breweries in the state, so there's 400 brands.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot in a short radius. So.
Do you have any breweries that you really like, or any favorites?
Oh, I like them all. That's my. But no, everyone is so different. It's like having children or pets.
That's what I say.
Dogs. It's like you love them for something. Some I love their tap room. Some I love their tap managers because I think they're just so awesome. Others I just love their beer. So. Like their beer, everybody's beer, but there's something different, because when you walk into one of those local craft breweries, you're also having an experience. You're sitting down with your friends, you're sharing beer, you're sharing stories, and you can't get that out of a box of 12 or 15 or 30.
So for smaller breweries, like what would you, like for me, I'm struggling with the marketing. I guess you're a marketing person, you're a marketing director. Like what could I do, like locally, to try to promote my brand, and is there any advice you can give me on it?
I guess I'd want to know what you're already doing first to start, and I'm assuming you're on social media, so taking a look at one of the speakers here said, what's your fab, right? So what is your what's your benefit, your attribute, what's your feature, and work backwards. It's like, what are you giving, what benefit are you providing, and then work on your brand personality around that, so that when I come, and think about you, I have an essence of your beer and your brand.
And I'm trying to get more people into the tap room, I guess. I'm trying the social media. But I'll have people from England liking me, and I'll have people from Germany or Canada, but they're not local.
Yeah, they're not coming to see you. They
Like
might eventually come to see you.
They do, and they say, "Oh yeah, I've been a fan of yours for the last year, and I'm in the area, and I think it's awesome. And let me try the beer." But trying to get more local people in. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I would look at, what are events that are happening around your area, or are there clubs that you want to welcome in? Is there a card club game, or, just start hosting some of those, or reach out to maybe a hobbyist group and say, hey, do you want to hold your monthly meeting, or a book club even? I mean, it sounds kind of crazy, but people are having book club meetings at their homes all the time. Why not have them come out and hold them on a slow night at your place?
Right, and then, that makes a lot of sense. We do have like meetups and just networking group meetings and just adding in that kind of event thing. And I see a lot of breweries doing that, doing like a trivia night and things of that nature, just to expose people to the brewery as well. Because sometimes you're a smaller brewery, you don't have this huge marketing budget, but you got to get people in. Right. And we're kind of in a plaza, like tucked in a corner, because the rent is great. I mean, Portsmouth is very expensive. I don't know if you've been to Portsmouth.
Yeah, I have.
Like if I went downtown, I'd have to pay like 5 times the rent per space. I'd be open like for a month, and then I'd have to close because it's like no. So, but it's just trying to get people in. So we're slowly, trying to do some events and things of that nature, and try to get. We do like a Match.com thing, so we get people in. And
sounds like you're on the right path.
Now they know we're here, so they come back. Like I never knew you were here. That's the worst.
BrewExpo America will be closing in 10 minutes.
Oh,
in 10
the
minutes,
closing in
the
10
trade
minutes.
show will be closing.
I would say too, tap into your local nonprofits too. Often they're looking for a place to have a fundraiser. Like if you are able to at least donate the space, and they would then pay for the beer. But you've probably done all of those things.
We've had some into that. We did it well. Like I'm doing the New York City Marathon for American Cancer Society, because they came in, they did an event, and they're sponsoring me. And I have to raise like $3,200, but I'm multiplying that by 10, so I'm trying to raise $32,000. I'm trying to get it out there on social media and like donate, and and they appreciate it. And then we did another thing. We're doing another like a cycle event for Alzheimer's Association.
Yeah.
And we're going to be the beer. I'll donate the beer to them, and then after we'll have a party at our place. So
another one I saw, which I thought was brilliant, was called Puppies and Pints. So someone partnered with the local ASPC or the local shelter, because sometimes shelters have those vans with adoptable pets. And one afternoon they just pulled up and adopted about 25 dogs, and people had beer if they adopted them, and that was a great.
I think that's
event.
awesome.
Yeah,
it helps everybody. These animals, yeah. So yeah, I appreciate you coming in and chatting with me.
Thanks
I know
for your time.
You're probably a very busy woman, and thank you for coming in. And this is an awesome event. We got one more day here.
One more day.
And I'm just going to work it and get to visit as many people as possible. I'm connecting with like so many people. It's like ridiculous. But this is the event to come to, and I'm coming here every year. I'm not sure why I didn't come in the past. But
great. So we'll see you in San Antonio.
Yes, I will be there. And that World Beer Cup will enter the World Beer Cup.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you again, Ann.
Thank you.
Yes, that was Ann Obenchain. She's a marketing director for the Brewers Association. There is a lot of effort that has to be put forth to get these conferences, the Craft Brewers Conference, also the Great American Beer Festival, set up. They do these things years in advance, right? They pick areas, they pick a city, and then they do it. This year it was Denver, but I think last year they had Nashville. But it's a fantastic conference. If you're in the brewing industry, you're part of it. You just get so much out of it if you go. And I was very fortunate to get the media pass to attend it, and I just spoke to a load of great people, including Ann. And there's a lot of effort that goes. And you know what? I thought it was flawless. I don't know what's happening behind the scenes, but everything I saw was on time, bang. Everybody was happy. You had 14,000 people, like I said, and they're all happy. a lot of effort went into it to make these people happy. So there you go. But if you like our podcast, if you like what we're doing, what we're getting to you, please, please, please go on to iTunes and leave us a rating, leave us a review. That's the only way we get up in rankings and we get more people listening. And it's all good stuff, you know. And if you haven't told a friend, tell 10 friends. We like to multiply things by 10 here. And yeah, I appreciate you listening. It's Friday. Have a beautiful weekend. And, we'll see you again on Monday. Take care.